Hello and welcome into the Founders Club. I am your club president, Jeff Jared, and this is the show where we get into the minds of successful brand builders. We're going to talk to some folks that have started brands that are having success in that, and we just want to get inside their minds. We learn what makes them tick, what makes them successful. We want to steal all their good ideas. Okay, we're just going to ask them for all their best advice, and we're just going to steal all that good stuff. And we do that every Tuesday at noon right here on the Founders Club. Welcome in. We are live here on YouTube and on Facebook. And of course, you can catch the replays everywhere where podcasts are found. Wherever you download Finder Podcast, you will find the Founders Club live. We have a special guest for you today. It's a fun field that she's in. Okay, so she has one boring job and one fun job. I'll just say that. So we're gonna have some fun today with our guest. If you are new with us, thanks for joining us. Welcome into the Founders Club. We want this to be a community. We want this to be a place where you can jump in and bounce off ideas off of other folks and just kind of be energized, spark some creativity, add to your knowledge, and really just kind of gear you up. I'm excited because it's the first of the year. Okay, we're here on January 2nd. If you're watching this live, it's January 2nd. And it is an exciting time of the year just because this is the time where we say, you know what? I've been kind of thinking about starting a side hustle and kind of making that, my thing, or kind of, dipping my toe into it. Maybe you don't know what kind of goes into that. It's scary. It's, it's exciting, but kind of that nervous excitement, right? So this is the place where you can kind of come in and talk to some people who have done it, maybe people who are in a similar situation. And the lady that we're going to talk to today is just kind of starting on her journey with a new brand. So she has an established brand and she's launching a new brand. And we're going to hear all about that today. Her name is Bethany Booth. And you know what? Let's jump right into the show today. All right, and welcome back into the Founders Club. Again, my name is Jeff Jared. If you're just joining us, we've got some folks coming into the live. This is a live show, folks. Okay, so we go on every Tuesday, for better or for worse, I'll say. So we come on every Tuesday at noon, and we're in here. So I'll tell you this. This is a little before we get our guest on here. This is just from me to you. This is a little hack for myself. Okay, so I don't know if you're like me. I'm just going to tell you how things work, in my mind, in my world, is I have to make myself do stuff. I have to set myself up for success or failure to make something happen. So the reason I do this show live is it makes me have a time and for it to go down. If you're like me, it's like if there's an idea of something that you want to do, if there's not a specific scheduled, you get on the schedule, get someone else involved, spend some money on it. These are things that will preempt you to make it happen, right? If I've spent that money, okay, you want to start a new company, right? And you got to start an LLC, okay, to make yourself official, right? Well, that costs a few $100, depending on what state you're in. Prices probably vary a little bit, but it costs a little bit of money to do it. But it's I know if I spend that, then I'm okay, I'm at least a little bit invested to make sure that I actually do something with this. Same thing as if I schedule a meeting with someone else, there's another person involved. I need to be respectful of their time. I need to, so it's any way that I can make myself do it. So for me, the Founders, I want to do a podcast, right? I've talked about this forever. Oh, I know all these great people and I want to bring them in and introduce them to people. But there was never a moment where it's okay, I'm actually going to do it. And the live format, I had experimented with the live format a little bit with some other projects. And I was like, this is it. This is the thing that will make me get in and just do it every week. And so, like I say, hell or high water, we're going to be here and making it happen. And so we're really excited about the guests. We're going to have some fun stuff. We're going to have a good time today. So having given you that little sermon here about getting stuff done and making yourself do it, let's bring in our guests for today. Let's go. Bethany, welcome to the Founders Club.
Thank you very much.
Tell us where you are. I see flowers in the background. It's a nice setting.
Yeah, so this is my office. This is where I don't spend too much time these days, unless I'm trying to catch up on things, reach out to different customers, schedules, things like that. But I'd like to spend most of my time over on the other side playing with dogs and getting lots of loves, hugs, and kisses.
Okay, okay, well, okay. So I haven't said exactly like on here what you do. So here we go. It's called Sniffs and Licks.
Yep.
As my daughter calls them, the doggos. We're in the doggo world now, which I'm kind of
Right.
excited about. So tell us about Sniffs and Licks.
Sure. So Sniffs and Licks is my brand new company that I started in November. It was many, many years of a dream and kind of kicking around different ideas. And early last year, actually a year ago, probably about now, I was like, I think I know what I want to do. And, kind of what you were saying a few minutes ago, it's like when you start something and you're like, okay, I want to do this. Now what? Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yes.
if I want to start a business, who do I talk to? What do I do? And so that's kind of how that all started. And a year later, we've been open. So my house cat here, my office cat, he likes to get in the screen. So he apologizes.
Oh, what's his
Um,
name?
his name, well, I call him Fat Boy because he just exists to get treats from everyone,
I,
but you
I
could
like.
also call him Little Paw.
Oh, okay. I like that. Yeah. Usually those pets have like multiple names. Like this is the
Oh,
official
yeah.
name, but we only call them this. Like we never call them the real name.
Anyone that comes in my office has to give him treats. That's the rule. His
Okay.
rule, not mine. But yeah, so
Okay.
so anyway, we started down this trek. We went through licensing and permitting and all that to open in November, which was great, right by the holidays. And so we board dogs and cats and even exotic animals. We have play care for both dogs and cats. So the cats, they're not friendly, so they have play care on their own type stuff, but like one on one. But the dogs have small dogs, large dogs, all kinds of crazy dogs, bored dogs, old dogs, young dogs. So it's all fun.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So here we are. We're at Sniffs and Licks right here.
Yep.
Yeah. So very cool. All right. Well, all right. So let me ask you. Okay, we're gonna do this. We got to get to know the Bethany. Okay. So let me pull this up here. We've got a few questions for you.
Okay.
And so I always ask people, what would you be, when you don't know anything about a certain business, what would be surprised to know about X? So in your world with the dogs, what would we be surprised to know about dog or the animal care biz?
I think you'd be surprised to know how, oh gosh, I don't know, so many things, how unluxurious it is.
Yep.
It's a lot
Yep.
of pooping and stuff like that, but also just how sweet it is to spend time with these animals. And, you have to be an animal lover, which of course I am, but just to see their constant excitement all the time is just super, super cool.
Okay. All right. All right. So off the animal page here. Okay. This is on the
Okay.
Bethany Booth page.
All
Okay.
right. Let's
Tell
do it.
us, give us your guilty pleasure TV show you're binging. What do you not want the internet to know that you're watching in the Netflix or whatever?
Well, recently I did successfully finish the entire series of The Sopranos. It only took
Oh,
me like what 10 years or
no,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
At least for the first
yeah,
time, that was your
that
first
was
run
my
through.
first. Like
Okay.
people always talk about these like epic shows, and there's so many that I hadn't seen, and so I started with The Sopranos, and it took me a good bit to like do the whole thing from the
Lot of
beginning.
episodes. There's no, yeah,
Yeah.
it's their hour long episodes, and yeah. Okay, would you like it? What was your takeaway? It's one of
Okay,
my
so
favorites.
I did like it. I found it humorous that so many women were always in love with Tony Soprano because he was just not that good looking. But okay,
Yeah, but he has an energy. He has like there's something
he
about
does.
him. He's on screen. You can't take your eyes off of James
Yeah.
Gandolfini when he's playing, especially when he's
My
playing that character.
Well, sure. My favorite character was the one that looked like he was from the '60s and never like left.
Oh, Polly.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
no,
with the
no.
hair, with the silver hair.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He just passed recently. I think in the
Yes.
last maybe like a year ago or so.
I saw, and so yeah, no, he was my favorite. I
Oh,
liked him.
oh yeah, he was old school for sure. He didn't get anything that was new. He was like, oh, he didn't like anything.
Yeah.
So no, I could talk about Sopranos for quite a while. I rewatch that whole series like every so often. I'm like, okay, it's time to just rewatch it. So I probably watched all the way through. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times probably. So
Wow. What did you think of the ending though? Because like, I caught the ending so 10 years late, so I went and read some blogs on it or whatnot. What did you think when you watched it?
Well, okay, so all right, so if you're just joining the Founders Club and you haven't seen The Sopranos, little spoilers, okay, coming up here because the ending was very controversial. I have a very specific. Okay, I was like you. I was a little bit spoiled from back in the day when it ran because I did watch it later, like you, more recently. And so if you don't know, The Sopranos ends, the series, ends. The screen just goes to black, and the song's playing, and the song just stops all of a sudden. And people thought so when it aired live on HBO. It was a cultural event. Like, oh my gosh, how's Sopranos going to end? Is Tony going to make it basically to the end, or is he going to die, or whatever? Yeah. And of course, things were all heated up with all the families at the end. Everybody's killing everybody. So everyone wants to know.
Crazy.
Yeah, of course, you got to have it. You got to have it hot at the end. So so everyone was wondering if Tony was going to lit. And when the screen just went to blank, just to black, and the music cut off, everybody thought their TVs cut out. Like that was the thing afterward. People were like, "Oh my gosh, I thought we lost reception or the cable cut out or whatever." And I remember David Chase, the creator of the show, he actually fought HBO to get that long. And then the music finally comes back in. The credits finally come back in, rather, like after like a while. So it really gave people a sense that they had lost their connection. And so he fought for that to be like the ending. And so people didn't know what happened. So, I feel very strongly that I know what happened. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the Founders Club Live, where we break down every episode of Sopranos. No, I'm just kidding. No, we talk to founders of companies, but we're talking Sopranos right now. We're talking about the finale of the entire series. Okay, and what exactly happened. Now, it's been quite a few years, so this isn't.
I think we can do the spoiler review.
We can do it. Yeah. So we are spoiling it if you haven't seen it. Okay, so tell me what you think happened, and then I'll tell you what I think happened. Or what I feel like I know happened.
Yeah, so that I feel like the guy that walked into the restaurant that was kind of weird and kind of hanging out. And
man in members only jacket.
Yeah.
That's how he's credited.
It's like I'm pretty sure he walked up and shot him, right? And he died.
Out of the bathroom. Yes.
Yeah. I think the only thing that was weird, because I thought that, but it was very ominous, right? And you're like watching all this, and you're kind of like, this doesn't make sense. What's going on? Why are they doing it like this? Why are they showing this weird, cadence the way they were showing it? And the only thing that I couldn't figure out was that they showed the guy at the table, then they showed the guy at the like going towards the bathroom, but then I was like, how did he actually make it happen? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. And again, I didn't come up with this on my own. I read someone had written literally a college thesis on the ending scene, and he had figured this out. And I was reading this forever, this whole long thing. All right, so here it is. You had mentioned specifically like the weird order of things, like how they were shot. It was kind of strange.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen it, they're in a this is a shot of the guy with the members only jacket. This is the guy who killed Tony, and so they're in the cafe. Okay, and there was a bell, like when people come in, you go to restaurants, old school places, there's a little bell that dings when the door opens. And so it would be the bell, it would show who's coming in, and then the bell would ding, right, from and then it would show Tony's perspective, right? So it'd show them sitting there, and it would show like what he saw, like it would look, because he was the first one at the restaurant. He was waiting for his family to get there. So the third shot, so it was door, bell, and then the third shot in that sequence was what Tony was seeing. Right. Okay. So he would look up and he would see Carmela come in. He would see AJ come in. And there was this whole drama at the end because the whole show's ending. And the song Don't Stop Believin', Journey, is playing on the jukebox. Yeah. And Meadow is trying to park the car. She can't parallel park. No joke. There's not going to be any joke from me about girl parking. Okay. I'm just going to let that go. Okay. So she's trying to park. She's trying to parallel park. And so the drama is she going to make it in? What's going on? There's only the time's running out for this episode. And so Meadow parks, you hear the bell, and then when it goes to the shot, which was Tony's point of view, right? So this camera represents what Tony's seeing. That's when it goes black. Meaning that's when Tony got killed right then. And that's when the music cut off, because you're listening to Journey's Don't Stop, and he says, don't stop, and it cuts off right then. So that blackness was Tony's POV.
Right.
In that moment. So he was dead. Yes. Yeah. So it's really, really
anything else because there's nothing else to
There's
see.
nothing else to see. That was the final shot. So that was okay. If if you think of it that way, you rewatch that scene and you do the 1 2 3 1 2 3 and then the 1 2 black. That is the coolest way to ever kill a character. If that indeed
Yeah.
is what happens, David Chase, apparently he said he had that whole thing planned out. And when people ask him, like, hey, did Tony die? He'll say it's all in there. It's all
Mhm.
there. And that's his answer. That's always been his answer. It's all there. Just watch it. And so to hear that, I did not come away with that explanation when I first saw it. I was like, I didn't know. So then I
Yeah.
read that and I was like, oh my gosh, I had to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
Watched it again, and that's exactly what happens. I mean, I feel pretty strongly like David Chase had that planned out and absolutely nailed it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. Okay. Well, okay. If you're in the comment section, let us know if we got that right or wrong, or I'm all the way completely off my rocker on that deal, or if you agree or disagree, how exactly
Or
Tony went down.
because we watched it so much later, did we have that advantage where someone that watched it right then, was it that obvious, or did it take a long time to kind of deduce that?
Yeah, I
That's
think it did. I think it took some film nerds like knowing about editing that was like, oh wait, 1 2 Tony,
it.
they saw it and was like, oh, I see what they're doing here, and
Yeah.
that was when it went to black. They were like, oh, wait a minute. So they were
Yeah.
able to. Someone smarter than me figured that out. Is what I'm saying. All right,
Right.
so tell us about the favorite childhood cartoon TV show, young Bethany growing up. What was the show?
Well, goodness. Okay, so as a childhood, well, I mean, like as a young teenager, I still love Animaniacs, or what's the other one that was like Tiny Toons Adventures or something?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they had all these crazy characters like Elmira, and Tiny Toons had Pinky and the Brain.
yes,
I still quote those to this
a
day. I
hundred
love them.
percent. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What are you going to do, Pinky?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something. Oh, Pinky always had the best answer. Like, oh yeah, of course. I'm thinking it was, and obviously never right. So
Right.
no, they did a revival of that. They did like a reboot of
Oh,
Animaniacs,
really?
yeah, and it was in the last couple of years, and my kids were actually into it. They liked it. So
Oh, I
yeah, so
love
it's
it.
good to know that still translates. My son is a big time movie nerd. And
Okay.
TV show nerd, he watches like everything, and so
Yeah.
he said it was pretty good, so he was
Good.
into it.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. And of course, like with my business now, I still love Elmira. I just want to love you and squeeze you and love you all. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
that's yeah. Okay,
Elmira.
yeah. So yeah. So tell us about. Okay, I don't have this one queued up on here, but give us a fun story from the doggo world of what you've experienced so far.
So, well, just a fun experience in the doggo world is so just the other day, I was sitting with a dog. We have we have fosters, right? So that's part of our mission is to work with foster groups, and dogs don't do very well in shelters. And so we partner with them to bring some in so that they can hang out more socially and kind of take down some of that anxiety. They get a lot of love. It's the same people every day. So I'm sitting with one of them that's real shy. She's real quiet. Her name's Sophie. So we're just sitting on a bed together, and another dog comes in. So brand new, well, I mean, not brand new, but to the day, right? So Brisket, one of our employees' dogs, comes in, and he just bum rushes towards me to say hi. Well, since he bum rushes, 8 other dogs all bum rush with him,
Yeah, I
and
guess we're doing this now.
yeah, and then literally they dogpiled me. And so legit, both my managers were standing there because we were all talking. And all of a sudden I'm like getting pictures of me and I'm being mauled by dogs. And then we have this one crazy dog whose tongue is like this big and he's licking my face. I mean, it was hilarious. So it might look like I created that photo shoot, but it was completely random.
Oh,
And
okay. What was
that's
it?
just life with dogs. So we just have so much fun that way. So that one was a fun treat for me. I had a good dog pile. So
An actual dog pile.
an actual dog pile. Yeah. So
That's
it was pretty
amazing.
fun. Yeah, I liked it.
That's amazing. All right. Okay. Well, okay. So, all right. So, speaking of dogs, we're getting into the dog thing. Okay. So, if you're just joining us, we were talking to Bethany Booth. She is the founder of Sniffs and Licks, Licks and Sniffs.
Sniffs, Sniffs and Licks play
Sniffs and
care.
Licks.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it reversed
I
up.
know, I know. It's been a lifelong name of some kind. It came from my daughter when she was young. She loved dogs more than she loved people. And one day she was doing something and she was just being silly, and it's like all of a sudden the name came to me, and I was like, oh, that's what it's going to be, Sniffs and Licks. I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something, and that's going to be the name. So
Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So all right. Okay. So on the dog thing. Okay.
yeah.
We're gonna figure this out. I'm a little bit producing on the fly here. So let me see if I can plug this
Okay.
in. So hold on. Let me see.
Okay.
Let's see if we get this here. We're gonna pop this in here. Here, and we'll come over here. Oh, we got sound effects going. We got music, everything. All right. Okay. All right. So here's Dog Squad. And it is, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. All right. So let me go in here. We're going to pop this up to the full screen here. And here's how Dog Squad works. Stay on the screen. That's what's, we're having a good time here. All right. So we've got all the famous dogs
Okay.
from the internet. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, I see what's happening. Hold on. I'm going to say here, do nothing. Okay. All right. We're producing on the fly here. This is a live show, folks. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Bethany Booth. She takes care of the good doggies. And so we're going to look at all the dogs from pop culture, okay, or a bunch of, this is the Entertainment Weekly list of top dogs, okay? And here's the thing. We got our board up here. So you got to draft your top 5
Ooh.
TV and movie dogs. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at who we've got. Okay, so we've got, I mean, all the, we got the Air Buds and our Snoopies. We got Dino, Astro from the old Clifford. I mean, all these guys. We got Slinky Dog from Toy Story. We've got Men in Black. We've got the Mask.
Yes.
Harry Potter, Lassie. Kind of got everybody in here. And let me go over here to our doggos here. We're gonna get recents, and let me see who else we've got. Okay, yeah, make sure everybody was in here. All right. Okay, so we can go back and forth on these lists to take a look. We got Doug from Up. Who you going with? Who you going with for your first round draft pick?
Okay, let's see. This one's tough. I think my first pick would be. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I'm teetering between two. Really like Clifford, but
Okay,
I'm
good choice.
really into the Harry Potter
Ooh,
dog
okay.
because it can also be a human.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
Harry Potter, so I was
Oh,
no.
okay. Go to the third slide.
Okay,
So
third
on the
slide here.
third
Okay.
one,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know the Harry Potter dog. I saw him on the thing, but I don't know.
So he's actually an animer or something. So he can
Yeah.
be a wizard or a dog.
Okay. I thought maybe he was an anim or something. So
Okay, so let's go with the Harry Potter one. That's my
okay.
first choice.
We're
My
going
top
okay.
pick.
The
He can do magic.
first pick, Harry Potter. Let's see if I can pop him in here. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Harry Potter
Oh
dog.
yeah.
So this
Padfoot.
is
There we go.
Sirius Black,
Yes.
Padfoot.
Yes. Epic.
Okay.
Epic.
Epic
That's a
dog.
great series to watch or read, honestly.
My kids
Reading
like it. The kid, I missed it. I missed it when it happened. I didn't
yeah,
catch it. So
it's pretty epic. So all right.
okay. All right. So I guess okay. So I got to make my pick. I got to make my first
Yep.
round pick now. And I
Yep.
think I'm gonna go. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go because just the movie kind of I grew up on from this list. Let me find him over here. I'm gonna go right. Oh, I just messed up my thing here. Hold on one sec here. I'm gonna go with Hercules
Oh,
from Sandlot.
yes. Yes. That was
So
pretty.
growing up, that was like a classic movie, and that's another one that I
Yes.
showed the kids, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, no, we like this one. This is good." So
Yes.
it's funny like which ones that of the old stuff that translates to the next
To the next year.
generation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and some of the things are like, I don't really get it, but then some of the things like, nah, we kind of like that one.
Well, and he's funny too. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love a dog that eats baseballs?
Yeah, exactly. He's got a good name, Hercules,
Yeah.
and you thought he was a bad doggy, but he's a good doggy. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so you got that. Okay, all
Okay.
right. So who you going number 2?
All right. So my number two is going to be the pug from Men in Black.
Ooh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's a lot. That's good comedy right there.
I like that one.
Yeah,
He's
didn't he talk?
funny. He can talk. I'm sure if he had one of those little sticks, he could probably also uh, be able to, manipulate people's mind and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that. I think he's going to be a good one.
Apparently his name is Frank, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
remember
that's
that
right.
detail,
Frank.
but he's
Frank.
Frank. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Anytime the dogs wear people clothes, I mean,
How
that's
could you go wrong,
exactly how
right?
could you go wrong with dogs
Go
and
wrong.
people clothes? Okay, all
Okay.
right. So I'm gonna go. Okay, is anyone on the chat is coming in here? What are they saying? For some reason, my chat window's not working. I can't see the chat. Chat, I'm sorry. For some reason today, that my technology is all jacked up. I can't see you guys, but
It's because it's the first of the year, right?
it's the first of the year. Yeah, exactly. The computer's taking the day off. It's getting back into it.
Some people are still on holiday. Computer will
Yeah.
come around.
When people put a chat in, I can hear it. So I can hear the chat, but I can't. For some reason, can't
Ah.
see it. That's all right. Okay, guys. Well, throw us in. Let us know what dogs we're missing here, or who I should be picking. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go with a classic here. This might be kind of obvious here, but let me go. Let me get it up here, and I'm gonna go right here with
I
Snoopy.
knew that. Yeah, that's a
Yes,
good one.
he's
That's a real,
classic. He's got
he's so
lots of
classic.
lots of stuff to draw from.
Yeah.
He's the Red Baron.
Yeah.
So that's always just cool. When you were a kid, that was like
Yeah.
that was my favorite part of Snoopy when he was airplane mode pilot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got the
And how
scarf
can you not?
going, the
It's always
glasses,
so.
the goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got
All right.
your third pick coming up.
All right. Let's see what we got. Let me see
Okay,
the choices. All right. So, oh, okay. Go to the next one.
okay,
Okay. One more.
one more.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Jetsons dog
The Jetsons
from the
dog,
future.
Astro.
Astro. Yes.
Astro. Okay,
Love
okay.
Astro. He's, classic. So I've got the wizard, I've got the Men in Black, now I've got futuristic dogs. So I'm hitting all the elements here of anywhere and anywhere I'm gonna have the right dog.
You gotta have a good squad. You're gonna end up with a good dog squad. Astro also had like the specific way of talking,
Yes.
like you could do
Yes.
that
Yes. I
speech
loved him.
thing there, and then always have that. Okay, so Astro's there, and also just a good name.
Such
Okay,
a
so
good
you're
name.
okay. You got a good squad coming up here.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's coming together.
okay. I'm gonna make a total dude pick here, and this is a little
Hey, don't
Johnny
steal
come
my
late.
next
This is a
pick.
little what's that?
I said, don't steal my next pick. I
Oh
already know.
no. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay, I've got some over here that I have like the images. Let me make sure it's on this board because
Okay.
I think one of these didn't make the board. Okay, I won't pick it because it's not on the board. It didn't make the
No,
board
you can
somehow.
take it. If it's not on the board, I didn't want it anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is okay. This is a little Johnny come lately to the dog list.
Okay.
Okay, but this is I don't know if you've seen the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, again, spoilers for a more recent film, but
Yes.
Once Upon a Time. I mean, at the end,
That's pretty
when
epic.
yeah, when Booth, what was his name? His last name was Booth. When he gives it
Yes.
and then it was
Brad Pitt
game
character.
on. What's
Yes.
that?
It was the Brad Pitt character, wasn't it?
The Brad Pitt character.
Yes.
Yeah. He just gave it a little bit of let's go, and then
That's
he
right.
went. It was on.
That's pretty
So
good. That's a very good pick.
yeah,
That's
I sandbagged you on that.
dude.
I sandbagged you. I didn't put him on the catalog, and then I had him over here in my little secret stash.
Yep.
See, that's cheating. I'm already going to be called out for cheating here.
Good deal. Way to go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, I mean, if we want to call audibles,
Oh yeah. You
can't
can
go wrong.
you can put anyone you want in.
You can't go wrong with the oh gosh, I'm going blank now. The dog from the Keanu Reeves current movies.
Oh yeah. I almost put that in there. John
Yes,
Wick dog. You
John
want?
Wick dog.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want the first dog, that little puppy that passed, or the one he got after that? It's a pit bull also.
Yeah, well, I think that as much as I loved that puppy, it was super sweet. I mean, the true, bad boy was the pit bull that he brought back, So, and if he hangs out with John Wick currently, then he's got to be,
He's got to be a tough doggo. Yeah.
true.
It's well, and also on the list was let me get John Wick dog here, and then select. Okay,
And then
we're
I
doing
still
some
have
live
my
produ-
one more. So hopefully I can round it out.
Yeah. So let's see here. Um, the other one was Holly Berry's character in, I believe, the
Yeah.
third movie, and she had two dogs, and
Yes. Oh, the Dobermans. The
yeah, and they were
Dobermans.
like super like highly
Oh,
trained.
that might actually have been a better pick.
I don't know how they train those dogs to do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Well,
'Cause-
especially when they do something like that and you're like, how do they have a properly functioning dog but can also do that?
Yeah, yeah.
You
In
know
the
what I mean?
stuntmen, they got to work with the stuntmen, and at John Wick
Yeah.
specifically, they do those long takes where it's not like a
Yes.
bunch of cuts. Like you can cheat
Right.
it by just getting a couple seconds here and a couple seconds there and
Right.
editing it together to look like an action scene. But in
Right.
John Wick, it's kind of famous for like, no, we're just going to film this whole thing for like 5 minutes straight, and I don't
What
know how they,
happens?
I don't know how
Kind
they
of like
coordinate.
your podcast.
Yeah, yeah, we're just gonna do the whole thing, and it's all gonna happen. All
There we
right,
go.
okay. So
All
I
right.
gotta okay.
Now who's your?
What do I got? I got two more. Okay, oof. Okay, it's getting tough.
It
I
is.
I gotta go. See, okay, I definitely had a few that didn't make it into the list here, but I want to stick with the list here. I'm gonna go with I mean, I'm looking at Air Bud because he had such a
Hmm.
long career, so many Air Bud movies.
Yeah. That was.
Kind of okay, but no, you know what I'm gonna go with though, because I grew up. Did you grow up with Ernest? Like
Uh,
Ernest Goes to Camp,
yes.
Ernest Saves
Yes.
Christmas,
Yes.
Ernest
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So that was
Okay.
Jim Varney, I believe his name was, and he was also, if I can find him on here, he was also Slinky Dog from Toy Story.
Oh.
He was the voice of
Okay.
Slinky
I
Dog.
didn't know that. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Well, he was for the first movie and maybe the second movie, but then he
Yeah.
passed. And then so then
Oh.
he's not the voice now, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
That's before they could AI sell their voice.
Well, and
But
who doesn't love Slinky Dog anyway? I mean, he's so stinking cute and sweet.
he
You know?
is. All
We need
right,
to
so
have.
we both have some good squads here.
We do.
And this is the
Okay,
final
so
pick. This is the fifth and
all
final
right.
pick here.
So I've got the Wizard.
Oh yeah, let's look. Yep.
I've got the Men in Black. I've got the Future. Now I've got the bad dog. You know, the one that's going to protect us. So now I've got to find.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find that cute dog, that lovable, to round us out pretty well. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was considering maybe like Toto, right?
Classic.
Super lovable,
It's one of the best
classic.
movies of all time.
Yeah, my husband's favorite. So I've seen that so many times, but I also really love Clifford. I mean, I don't know if you grew up with Clifford, but Clifford the big red dog was friends with everyone. Everyone loved him.
Yeah, I
He
think
grew
he's got a
so
movie coming
big.
out soon.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so great. I mean, everyone loved him or he got that big because of how much love he got, So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Clifford. I'm
Go
going
with
to go with
Clifford. Okay, that's
I'm gonna go with-
that's a good choice.
Yeah.
And everyone knows he's got the signature look. I mean, there's only
Yes.
one red dog, and it's
Only
this
one red
guy.
dog.
Wow. Okay. That is a good dog squad right there. You got
Okay.
Harry Potter, Men in Black. You got the Jetsons. You got John Wick. You got Clifford. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm over here. I've got a baseball dog, an old time classic with Snoopy.
Yep.
We got the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the dog who can go into action
That's
when
the
he
one
needs
that's
to.
he's the
Yeah.
enforcer. We'll just call
He's-
him the enforcer.
There we go. He's the enforcer. He's the lovable enforcer. And then we got Slinky Dog.
All right.
Let's see. Do I go with another classic? I mean, there's so many classics in here.
There are.
Or
I have one
another.
mention. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Shoot.
Mm, 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 mm.
I guess for iconic status, let me go over here,
Okay.
and I am gonna grab this for the iconic status of Toto
Yeah,
from
you
The
have
Wizard
to.
of Oz. I
Pretty
mean,
epic.
that's a good one, and everyone knows the name Toto.
That's right.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas
And he
anymore.
survived, a tornado and the Wicked Witch of the East. So I mean, and the West for that matter.
Yeah.
He's pretty tough.
Okay, so chat, you have to tell us. So the chat is the one who decides
Okay.
who's got the best dog squad here. We've got Bethany's dogs. She's got a great selection. I think I got a pretty strong. You know who I didn't. You know who was on my thing over here that I didn't include in the catalog. There was Turner and Hooch from Turner and Hooch.
See, that one would have been a good one.
I was gonna select. Yeah, I was gonna select him, but
that was
Yeah, I don't want to cheat too much
You
on there.
still can't watch that movie without bawling your eyes out at the end, right? That was Tom
Anytime,
Hanks, and
yeah.
oh,
Anytime you get that ending to the dog movie, that's just always going to be, Old Yeller or just any,
well, that's what's funny is
Marley and Me. I
I'm
didn't put
such a
Marley. I
dog
should have put Marley in there.
Oh yeah. I'm such a dog lover that I usually don't watch dog movies because unless I know that it's all going to end happy, I can't do it. I'll
It's too,
cry from the beginning the whole way through,
it's it's too much. It's too much.
It is. It's so sweet. My
All right.
honorable mention though was going to be Beethoven, right? That would
Yes.
have been a great classic. So
Yeah, we missed a few. We missed a few good ones, but we
yeah,
got some good ones on the list. All
I
right.
think I like it. It looks pretty good.
All right. So that's a good squad. We got two good dog squads here. All right. All right. Well, we've had fun with the dogs, so let's turn the page to a little bit of serious business in
Okay.
a segment we call Serious Business.
Oh.
All right, we are here. If you guys are just joining us, we are on Founders Club Live. We're having a live conversation here with Bethany Booth, and she takes care of the good doggies and other animals as well. And
Yep.
so this is so tell us a little bit about your journey because I know you have another successful brand, and that's kind of
Yep.
enabled you to start this new thing. So tell us
Yep.
about Henry's, and then how you got to where you are right now.
Sure. So I am an owner of Henry's Service Hall. We do AC or HVAC, electrical and plumbing work. And my dad started that business back in 1978. And then my husband and I came in and took over about 9 years ago. So it afforded us the opportunity to come into a business that was already functioning, already running, already had it all kind of put together. And we just kind of took it from the 90s to today, getting us online, getting us web pages, getting us advertising, really just honing in and doing that stuff well. And so, having done that now for so long, I feel like I'm confident in how to run a business. And one of my strengths as a business owner is I love to facilitate. So I don't have to be the expert at everything. I just have to know who to go to for the answers. And then I facilitate that and then I bring it back and make sure that the schedule is good and the people are good and the customers are good and the advertising is where it needs to be and we tweak it that way. So
Yeah.
2 years ago, we rescued a dog outside of Henry Service Hall that was just running out in the wilderness across the street. So it took us like 2 months to rescue this dog, and it was like so amazing and heartwarming that I think it kind of like spurred that bug of I've always wanted to do something with dogs. I just didn't know what. And we had kicked around a few different ideas. And so we finally settled on let's open a doggy daycare, a pet daycare. Because of course I don't want to just favor dogs because I love cats just as much. And anyone that doesn't love cats just hasn't found the good one yet. So
Yeah,
we,
I'm a dog guy over cats all
yeah,
day. So
yeah, well,
I have two kids, and my daughter is 100% dog. We don't have okay. First of all, we don't have any pets, but she wants a dog, and then my son wants a cat. So they're
yeah.
just I don't know.
Well, the cool thing is, like, I mean, dogs, they're crazy. They love you. They're full of excitement and energy, all that. And cats are, they are more particular sometimes to certain people, but a lot of cats have really great personalities. I mean, the classic cat of, is just being a little turd is, that they have those, but most of the time cats aren't like that. And what's cool about a cat is they're easygoing, they're not high maintenance, they don't want a lot of attention. So for people that are busy or travel a lot or have kids with sports and all the things, it's a whole lot easier with a cat, But anyway, I love them both. But yes, I do love dogs more than cats, but my cats will snuggle with me and they're super sweet and I just love them too. But so anyway, we got on this boat to start Sniffs and Licks, and it's a play care. And we have a motto with Henry Service Hall that we want to do more than just exist to make money. So we always want to be giving back. We always want to be conscientious of the area or different charities that we love to support and stuff like that. And so we already do that with Henry Service Hall. So starting this new business was a bit more of a challenge because it's all new. So like calling the city and like, hey, I want to start a business. What does that look like? And then they send you paperwork and then you start the whole ball and chain of making sure you can solidify all these things. And then on top of that, incorporating, because I've already done business before, there's certain things that I know I want to do right away. And so that experience with my first business allowed me to kind of know how to incorporate things off the top. So, for instance, we like to hire special needs people. So that was something we did right away. And he's great, and we love him, and he loves dogs, and he can do all the things that we do. And it just is such a heartwarming thing that we get to be a part of. And then the same thing where I told you about the fosters. We work with two different charities currently, fostering dogs and cats, actually. So I guess that's a third charity through the city of Euless as well. So we get to give back. We get to help these pets, because the thing with the dog that comes through is it's every dog that comes to you from a foster care is going to come with some sort of trauma, right? And
Yep.
so anyway, so that's kind of where we were. That's how we started with Henry Serviceall, and that's how we're able to do this. And I think for me, the biggest thing is to be flexible with a new business, right? Even though
Yeah.
I have my plan, even though I have my things, I'm willing to change as needed to do what's best for the business as we go through.
No, for sure. And you mentioned something early there when you were talking about in Henry's and talking about how it's about like you have to delegate or find the right people to do certain things, because it's
Yes,
certainly, when you start off, it's just you, right? I mean, for
right,
most people in most businesses, you start off, you're a solopreneur, if I could use that word, and you're everything that gets done, it's you doing it, right? Or maybe you and a partner, maybe you and one other person,
yeah,
but it's certainly like it's difficult. Like I think most people that start businesses are kind of like a little control freaky, a
yeah.
little bit. And I know I am, because you
I
want
am,
things,
I am for
yeah,
sure.
because like how well you can do a
Yes,
certain thing, and you want
yes,
everything done like to that level. It's like, well, if I do it, it'll be good, and it's hard to just like let it go, let someone else do it, and like do it their way. Maybe it's not gonna be the
right,
exact way you want, that you
right.
would do it rather. But it's such a transition when you start working with more people and having to like let that go. But it's like what I've learned, I'm similar to you, starting a new brand now, but have been working for myself for 14 years. And yeah, in the beginning, you want to do everything, but then you
Hmm.
learn I'm not as good at this, or I can't do that main
Right,
thing if I'm also doing all these little side things. I'm spending all my
right,
time doing all these tiny things, but really that main thing, which is growing the business, or more income, or whatever your goals are, isn't getting done because I'm really micro into this little tiny
mhm,
stuff, and it's just like such a big thing to like let someone help you,
right.
and so forth. But what are your thoughts on kind of letting go of things?
Uh-huh. I'll tell you two thoughts. My business motto, like what I have taken from other people that I've listened to that are also successful, is you have to work on your business, not in your business, right? And that's probably the
I like
hardest
that.
lesson for people to learn. And, the way that resonates with me is I'm in my business, right? I know what's going on. I know different things, but I don't have to know every detail of everything. I just need to make sure that they're communicating back to me and that they are handling it right. And so that frees me, like you said, to make sure we're advertising to bring more business, that we are networking to bring more business. Because doing even a podcast or even going to networking events takes me away from the business, but that doesn't mean I'm not a part of it. I'm actually helping it because I'm growing it at the same time. And so that's the greatest advice I ever got, was to work on your business, not in your business.
I
Um,
like that.
and the same thing, like how it resonated with Henry Serviceall was, my dad, when he started the business back in 78, we didn't have things like internet and cell phones and, stuff like that. So all the way up until like the mid 90s. So the world was so different, right? And so to be able to accurately or successfully run a business today, you have to be able to delegate, because there's so many more things that are required of you in today's world.
True.
Just
Yep.
all the different platforms, social platforms, all the way people look stuff up now, the way that we bill, the way that people think about stuff. We're more in tune to stuff. Back in the 80s and 90s, you just called your people to fix something and they'd go fix it and you pay them because they were the experts. Well, now we're all experts and we all have WebMD and YouTube and stuff. And so you have to be able to separate back to be able to meet the customers where they are, and you can't do that trying to do all the things. It just doesn't work.
No, yeah, you're right. There's more to do now with
Yes.
when we're talking about the little things. There's just more little things in business now. Now I'm over here on the Instagram, by the way, and
Yeah.
I think I found is this the dog
Oh,
pile?
yeah, that's the picture.
Is that the
Yeah,
dog?
that's the one.
That's the
Yeah.
dog pile.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
That's
amazing.
that's a pretty good dog pile.
That's pretty good. You guys had Santa come in and everything. Look at
Yeah,
this.
actually that Santa was my son.
Oh,
So
oh, it is.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
my
nice.
both my kids are a part of the business and they love to help out. And I bet there's one of my daughter in there somewhere. But yeah, so
So
they, we just have a good time. But we we just enjoy what we do, and I think that in business, especially when you want to start your own brand, when you want to start your own business, you have to look at it more like a passion, right? Because it's going to take a bit for it to like get up off the ground. And so
yes,
for us, it's like we're growing, but we're growing slowly, right? So it's going to take time, and it's going to take patience, and so you have to kind of go into that knowing that ahead of time, to be ready for that, and kind of hunker down. Don't get defeated. Don't get your expectations too far ahead of yourself. But again, just being flexible to change constantly. Like, the biggest thing I did when I started Sniffs and Licks is, as I hired people, I prefaced everything to say things are going to change constantly because we're this is new, and so we are changing things as we go for the betterment of our business. I'm never going to say, well, that's just the way I want it done and we're going to figure it out. We're going to do what's best for the business and best for the pets and best for the employees and best for the customers. And so that means that when something happens, you have to step back and say, oh, all right, well, that didn't work out like I thought it would, or that wasn't as cool as I thought, or something, and then be able to assess that and make those adjustments for the betterment.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely about not being so married to a certain idea that you're just
Right.
gonna like ramrod it in. Like no matter what, I'm gonna do this. It's like
Yep.
you gotta be flexible, and I guess the buzzword is pivot. You gotta be able to like go,
Ah,
okay, well, I was doing this, but now
yes.
maybe it's this
Yeah.
other thing.
Yeah.
So long as it's in what you're doing.
Right. And I guess I would caveat that to say, but set your goals, set your standards, put your objectives out there, your morals, your values, like those things don't change,
Right.
right? Those are your platforms. And so you set your platform based on, here's my objective, here's my goals, right? That's another big phrase I like to use for myself. And I also love to say, be proactive, not reactive, right? So you want to be proactive on things instead of reacting to something. So reaching out to a customer first, or the CSIs, customer satisfaction inquiries, or if you notice something on a pet, like asking about it, things like that. So we're proactive, not reactive. So those are all things that may not change. So if I have a vision for something, or if I have, like, especially in my Henry Service Dog world, it's not always the best, because it's a trade industry that a lot of businesses don't hold high standards to, right? And
Yes.
so there's been multiple times in my 9 years that people have said, well, you could just do this. And I'm like, well, I could, but that wouldn't be right. And so I can't do that. You can call someone else, or I can do this the correct way, but that I can't knowingly do something wrong. And that might lose me the business, but my standards and my values and my platform is not going to change. And it's the same with Sniffs and Licks too. So those stay the same, but your practices, your day to day, how you communicate, all of those things, maybe your age is different than the ages of people you're hiring or something. And you've got to rethink all that, and make sure you're meeting those people and the customers and stuff all where they need to be met.
Yeah. Okay, so those are good examples of things that you've learned from one brand that you've carried over. What are the things you learned the hard way that you didn't want to come over to the new shop?
Well, one of the things I learned is turnover is still heavy, right? Finding employees to stay, or people coming on, and it's just a lot of people are just real quick to just like move on and just be there. And so you can get real beat down by that because you feel like you're constantly just redoing the same thing. And so sometimes it's hard to get going when you're having to back up and redo it and back up and redo it. So that was one thing that carried over, that I feel like I preface things and try to set the stage pretty well, but you just never know, right?
Right.
And eventually you'll get the good ones, and you'll be okay. But you're just being patient through that. So that was one thing that carried over. And I think the other thing that carried over is just that sometimes you have a vision for something, or you want it to be a certain way, and it's like you can see all of it in your head, and you can even like lay it out, but you can't make it happen, right? And so that's really hard, trying to figure out how to get that extra oomph, and so my only advice to that, even to myself, is just to talk to other business owners and ask them, like, well, what do you do? How did you get your business up and going? Because that's the one thing from Henry Service Hall, we were already established when I came in. And so how do I get myself up the chain,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What you're saying is like, there's so much that's not in your control,
Yes.
you really, and it's like, that I cannot affect, like the turnover thing, you can try to find the right people, and you could try to train them and such, but, it's one of those things you just cannot absolutely, control that. Absolutely. So it is kind of frustrating, especially I feel like we're very similar in that, like we want things to be a certain way, and then it's just like when it doesn't go that way, it's hard to take those L's. But it definitely comes with the meal, is taking little L's here and there on all kinds of stuff, and it's certainly, that is one of those things. If you are, we're here on Founders Club Live. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Bethany Booth, and she has an established brand, and she's launching a new brand that just launched a few months ago. And we're talking about some of the challenges in business and stuff that you don't know when you first start. Everything I wish I would have known when I first started, but it's just about how you don't have control over some things, and taking an L isn't always, a friend of mine says, we don't lose, we learn. Which I like, it's like we didn't, we learned something. So it's all those learning experiences are beneficial, but there's as much studying as you think you want to do, and as much YouTube videos as you watch before you start your business. There's just going to be things you just cannot foresee, things that you just, can't control, or things that you thought were going to go a certain way that don't. But you, like I say, you learn from each of those situations, and hopefully just build and become stronger. So
I'll just say to this too, like, I think that's one of the things I talk to my employees about a lot, is I say mistakes are going to happen. Things are going to happen. And there's things in our control, and there's things out of our control. And so let's minimize mistakes on things within our control, because we know things out of our control are going to happen anyway. Right. And then from that, everyone makes mistakes. So the question is, did you learn from it, or are we repeating the same mistake over and over again? Because no one's perfect. Right. So I'm not expecting perfection, but I am expecting that they get something from that, so that it doesn't happen again. Right. And that's such a big thing that I talk to all my employees about when, in any of my businesses, and even my children, like when my son does stuff, I'm like, what's the lesson? And he's like, I don't want to say it out loud, or whatever. So.
Yeah. I mean, if it happens once, we don't want it to, but if it just keeps happening, now we have an issue. Yeah. It's like, now we're not taking anything from the previous experience.
Now we're just being careless, or we're not
caring,
thinking, or we're just, there's a disconnect now, and that's a different conversation. And so, but if you can instill that in your employees early, or even in your interviews, and kind of set that platform, that stage of, these are the expectations. It's not to be perfect, but it's to do your best, right? It's not to be the best, but it's to do your best, things like that. So if you can establish that early and get that culture going, then that's going to help in that success, right?
Yep, for sure. Okay, well, so let me ask you this. You mentioned talking to other people that have done things. What's some of the good feedback that you've had from those conversations? I mean, you gave me the one which I really liked, but
where you're on the business, not in the business.
That one.
Man, I walked out of that meeting, and I was like, my husband and I were both in that meeting, and we were like, we really liked that guy. He had so many good things to say. But just talking more one-on-one with friends and stuff, it's patience is probably the biggest thing. Patience and just kind of, you have to be able to put yourself out there, but you have to be able to put yourself out there in the right ways. And so maybe like doing research on your trade or your venue, wherever yours is going to resonate. Like for me in the doggy daycare world, most people are not going to board their pets past 5 miles, so
Oh, wow.
that's kind of my hub, right? And they will maybe for the holidays or something, but even like think about a vet. If you have a pet, you're not usually driving 30 minutes to go take your dog to the vet. You're not usually going to drive 30 minutes to go drop your dog off for doggy daycare, right? You might board them, but you're not going to bring them every day for that. So that's just one of the things that I took from is kind of, doing your good research, doing things that you don't want to spend money just to spend money. So you have to figure out how you can spend your advertising dollars or your time and energy on things that will actually resonate and bring forth the people that aren't just going to take your flyer or whatever and throw it in the trash, right?
Right.
So that's the patience was a big thing, and just trying to get out of your shell. It starts here and then it goes and it goes and it goes. And so how does your business go? In my Henry Serviceall world, I could, if I wanted to, I could advertise like an hour circle all the way around. I don't want to because we're not that big of a company. So to us, that would not benefit us to drive so far. So I have cut my parameters down and I only advertise in those areas, right?
Yeah.
Because why would I want to advertise in a city that I don't want to send my technicians to, because I don't have enough business there to make it worth the time and the money or the gas
Right.
money, so
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Well, in one business you go to them, and the other business they come to you. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. And
I
so
want,
it's two different thought
yeah,
processes, right? So that's something that you definitely that I've learned that we have to really figure that out. What does that look like for your business? And that's
yeah.
different for everyone.
You mentioned in the beginning of that about putting yourself out there, and that is such a big challenge. I think for a lot of people thinking about starting something, it is one of the biggest. There's a lot of big challenges, things to consider, and capital and so forth. But assuming all of that's good, or there's a low barrier to entry to what you're trying to do, it's the putting yourself out there. I think that
Mhm.
stops a lot of people because it is tough to
It
just
is.
look a fool putting yourself out and
Yeah,
trying something, and it's like starting a podcast with like no listeners and just like, hey, we're going to show up every week and we're going to start this podcast, and eventually it's going to go, and we're going to have all kind, but I do appreciate all the people who have jumped in early and been early members to the Founders Club. But there is that just thing where it's just I heard one creator describe it as cringe mountain. It's really cringy just to put yourself out there, but you just got to climb. Anyone that is successful, they started there, and
right,
they climbed up. I think
right,
a lot of times people look at people who are already successful or famous or something, and then they start something new. By the time you heard of them, they're already a thing. So it seems like everything they touch is gold. But it's like, well, what about when you never had heard of them and they
right,
grinded and they put in all the work so that know who they are? I mean, of course, that's a celebrity example, but it's the same thing in business. If you've heard of a business, it's someone who put in the work before it was cool, before anybody thought they were going to make it, before they had all the fans and believers or whatever it is.
right,
Someone was just in there, in the back room at the house, just plugging away and or,
right.
doing whatever. Talk quickly about the difference between customer acquisition in your two businesses, because they are kind of very different. What do you see works well in one and what works well in the other?
So in this case, some of the same practices work for both.
Yeah.
So in my Henry Serviceall business, we send out a postcard for the spring and the fall, and that's for the AC checkup and the heat checkup, and so that kind of brings to mind my business to them at least twice a year. And since we go to them, we offer service agreements and we offer things like that. And when we do that, we call them out and we set up appointments for them. So we help kind of handhold that through for them, right? We try to offer that good customer service. On the Sniffs and Licks side, it's more like we are looking at doing more festivals, more fairs. We're doing blood drives. We're doing, um, you know, low cost vaccines, kind of bringing events to us so that people can come to us and then see us and then want to be a part of us, right? So that's a little bit different, but we still sent out postcards and things like that. The difference mainly is you're just trying to be more local here versus there you're hitting up your customer database and areas that are maybe further out. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, I can also say, you talk about doing like certain events and so forth, and you talked earlier about supporting, being about a cause and stuff that you guys care
yeah,
about. And I know you guys do work with the first responders
yeah,
because that's where we met was, and I
right,
didn't mention that we
yeah,
met at a golf tournament for the
right,
Blue Family Fund. So one of
right,
our founders that we've had in the club already, her name is Stacy McGovern. She runs bluefamilyfund.org. Definitely check them out. They give 100% of
yeah,
the proceeds straight
they're
to the
amazing.
families. Yeah, they are amazing, and they put on a great golf tournament
Yeah,
every year, and it's called the Hackers Ball. So if you're not a golfer, hackers are like that's like if you're not good at golf. So like no one is on
I
the
love it.
going to make the PGA Tour anytime soon. We're just a bunch of fat dads out there
That's right.
smacking the ball
Having
around,
fun.
yeah, and some ladies out there as well, out there, and so she does a great job, and that's why I met you and your husband were out
Uh-huh.
there supporting the golf tournament. So all much love for just
Yeah, and
showing the
I
first
think
responders the way.
too, I think too for both businesses, anytime that you can find a group that you have a heart for. So we have 3 or 4 charities we have a big heart for, and the thing is it's a little community, right? And so now, like with Blue Family Fund, or even some of the other few that we partner with, we don't try to partner with everyone because then you're just everywhere. Again, you find what is really important to you and how you can connect with those people because then you have that community also. So now, whenever you're at the golf tournament or whatnot, and you do that year after year, or we work with another charity group that we do a certain event every year for them. And so this is like our 4th year to do it with Henry Serviceall and them. And so now people know us, they expect us to be there. And then they that resonates with them because what you care about and what they care about partner, and so then they're going to look to you to do that business with, right?
Yep.
And that's that's an intangible. You can't always measure that. You can to an extent, but a lot of times it's like throwing a rock in the river, right? You hit it and that one's there, and then they're going to talk, and then those people are going to talk, and then and it's going to ripple out, and you may not even know sometimes where it comes from. But
Yep.
the relationship matters, whether you're trying to relationship people for business or whether you're trying to relationship people to share your business, right? It goes both ways. So
Yep. All right. Well, man, it's we could talk about this all day, but no, I
yeah,
really, Bethany, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us about everything that you've got going on. Appreciate your support, obviously
yeah,
for Blue Family Fund and all the good stuff that you guys do, and for the Good Puppy Dog. Now, I do tell the folks where they can find
yeah.
you guys. They follow you. They need to subscribe. They need to board their puppy. Where do they go?
Okay. So our website is sniffs-and-licks.com. I know the dashes are crazy. They can email us at pets-loved@sniffs-and-licks.com. So it's all the same, right? If you find us on Facebook, it's sniffs-and-licks. Instagram. I purposefully hired 2 amazing young people that are great on all the social platforms because I am not. So we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. They produce some amazing videos and just really showcase the fun that we have. That's really what we're all about, is loving your pet just as if they were our own, making them feel comfortable and all that. So we're located in Euless. We're right off of 121 and 183, right where the split is. We're less than 5 miles from the airport. So if you're looking for vacation, even if you're not there, but you're going out of DFW, we're perfect for that.
Okay.
So we will take good care of your pet. We promise.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and really appreciate it,
Absolutely.
and look forward to just following your journey on as
Thank
you
you.
guys are growing.
Yeah, awesome. No, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. All
All right, you bet. Thank you.
right.
All right, and there she goes. That is Bethany Booth, and it's just so fun to hear about all of these different businesses that are going. And I think it's encouraging. Hopefully, it's encouraging to you because it just shows that if you do have a passion for something, there's nothing really stopping you from doing it these days. Like I say, with the internet and with all of the capabilities that you have to meet new customers and to grow a business. It's just there for you if you want to make it happen. I will say I hope that the Founders Club is a resource, just another kind of arrow in your quiver that can just give you one more tool to motivate yourself, okay, to get motivated and be around other people who have done it, and maybe you look and go, well, I mean, if that guy Jeff Jarrett can do it, I mean, he's not that smart. I mean, I could probably do it. So I hope go if that's the way you look at it. I'm here to say that is you are correct. You are correct, sir. You are correct, ma'am. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. So definitely appreciate Bethany coming on today and sharing her experiences. If you are new with this, we do have a couple of giveaways going. We referenced just a moment ago about Blue Family Fund and Stacey McGovern, and they just had a benefit concert just the other day, and they have some T-shirts made up that turned out really great. And talk about country music and Blue Family Fund. They help support families of first responders. And she said, hey, anyone that joins the Founders Club and becomes a club member by subscribing, we're going to give our early subscribers some Blue Family Fund swag. So she has announced that. And so just jump in there, jump on the subscription here on YouTube. And we're also on Facebook. But if you subscribe on YouTube, the first 5 subscribers that add into the family club of the Founders Club, we are going to send them a Blue Family Fund country music T-shirt, which is super cool. So special thanks to Stacey McGovern for sponsoring that. We also want to say special thanks to our podcast production company, podvision.io. And they make this whole thing possible, and more to come on that company as well. And so if you're with us here, we just really appreciate you spending some time with us, and we will see you next Tuesday right here on the Founders Club, Tuesday at noon. We'll see you then.